Hello and welcome to Rev Sports and another very good morning to all our football fans and another fantastic day of football at the FIFA World Cup in USA. Brazil versus Morocco, the match that we have been talking about since the last few days. The first heavyweight clash, I would say, in this World Cup so far. And what we predicted yesterday, Brazil versus Morocco, we all said it would be 1-1, and it was 1-1. Uh, Rahul donning the Brazil jersey, I'm in the Morocco jersey, and Somnath
Oh,
perhaps as the referee. But coming to both Rahul and Somnath are Brazil fans, so let's start with Rahul. Rahul, your thoughts, overall thoughts on the game? Morocco, not as Somnath was rightly mentioning, Morocco might not be that pedigreed side, but in the recent times they are no less than a top 10 side. They are in that zone, and rightfully so. Pretty good competition between the both sides. Many people, pundits are saying that they were the better side in the first half. What are your thoughts on the match?
I mean, first of all, you can see that Kolkata is quiet. Kolkata is quiet because we know half of Kolkata are Brazil supporters and half of them are Argentine supporters. And now I think those fans will have serious doubt, how far Brazil can go actually in this World Cup. But I would say decent start because many thought that Morocco, they were just underdogs in this World Cup, but actually they aren't. I think if I say that they are the contenders as well in this World Cup, maybe they will fight, against some of the contenders, then I think I'm not that wrong because they actually proven on the pitch, today against Brazil. Last edition, everyone thought that that is just a fluke for Morocco, but they have proven that that was not just a fluke. They are the proven performers, at the world stage. And this obviously the Federation of Morocco have been working on football development, over past few decades, and now they are just bearing the fruit. Now they are actually getting the result. And talking about Brazil, very few positive from the first game. Carlo Ancelotti have a lot of things to think about, before the next two game. But I would say this 1 point is really valuable for Brazil because obviously Brazil conceded early. Morocco totally exposed Brazil defense, but again, courtesy of Vinicius strike, that was a great strike. And we have seen this kind of Vinicius individual brilliance when Real Madrid have played against some tougher teams. And yesterday also, once again, Vinicius rose to the occasion and actually he saved Brazil. Before the next two games, I mean, okay, let's talk about the Morocco game first. I think Rafinha also need to, get back to his full rhythm because the Rafinha we have seen for Barcelona this season and for Brazil today, I think totally, two contrasting Rafinha. So, very few positive from the first game. Lot of things to think about before the next two game. But I would say still that Brazil are poised to, make it to the next round.
Next round, that doesn't seem much far because if you
True.
see the group with Haiti and Scotland, Brazil will go through. But Somna, coming to you, the role of the center mids, Casemiro, Guimaraes, I think they were quite exposed. And Casemiro at 34, I think they were quite exposed with Brahim and Ayub Bowadi from Morocco, and that's how the goal also came, right? Center a pass through the midfield and a fantastic finish by Ismail. What are your thoughts on that Brazilian midfield and also the defense, as Rahul rightly mentioned, they were exposed?
I mean, if you talk about Morocco, the team has been really brilliant, and I will say this Morocco team is very underrated. Most of the players, only two players, Hakimi and Brahim Diaz, plays in the toppest of them, the best clubs in the world. One of the best clubs in the world. One plays for Real Madrid, one plays for PSG. But rest of the players, all they belong to some Belgian first tiers. If you talk about Dutch first tier, so obviously this Moroccan team is very underrated. And if we talk about one player in the midfield for Morocco, it will be Nail El Ayanoui. Who is a 18-year-old midfielder, and just imagine in a midfield where there is Casemiro, where there is Bruno Guimaraes, where there is Fabinho, this 18-year boy has showed tremendous potential. Be it his passing, be it his defensive, being a defensive midfielder, his interceptions, his pinpoint accuracy with the passing. I think he will go a long way, obviously. And he was paired with Ayub Buadi, who once again impressed us all with with his pace, with his passing, and with his defensive skills. And uh, nothing to say much, but I think this Moroccan double pivot has completely dominated the Brazilian double pivot of Casemiro and Bruno Guimaraes. But apart from that, Morocco has been pretty good. Especially, we have to talk about their striker Ismail Saibari. I think the finish, the first goal of Morocco, clearly showed the class which Ismail Saibari possesses, and obviously the that assist from Brahim Diaz, that through ball was also magnificent. A brilliant assist and a brilliant goal to start the World Cup for Morocco. I think it can't get better than this. And obviously, when a country is ranked seventh in the FIFA rankings, you can't blame them. You can't name them as underdogs. Obviously, Morocco is one of the most consistent sides in the world, and obviously, yesterday we saw, not yesterday, today, last night we saw two good teams go on to each other, and obviously it was a highly anticipated match, and I think this was the expected result from all three of us.
Absolutely. And these are the visuals sent to us by Dural Day from New Jersey. These were the visuals from the before the match, ahead of the match. A lot of fans, a lot of Brazilian fans, a lot of Morocco fans in the stadium. And these are all exclusive visuals sent to us by Dural Day from New Jersey. But Rahul, coming to you, as Carlo Ancelotti in the post-match press conference said that the team was perhaps nervous, and when you are coaching Brazil and giving this quote in the press post-match press conference, this says a lot of about the team character, I would say, because as a coach, if you're saying that the players were nervous against top-sided Morocco in the first opener of the FIFA World Cup, and also on Fox Sport, Zlatan Ibrahimovic also said the same thing, that the team doesn't look very it doesn't look in a very good shape, and they will be happy to take this 1 point against Morocco. Your thoughts? What are the areas that Carlo Ancelotti needs to work upon before the next match?
See, before the start of World Cup, we all thought that maybe the side backs will be, the weak link for Brazil in this World Cup. But yesterday, I think they did pretty well actually. On the left back position, I think that is Douglas Silva was playing, instead of Alexandro, and on the right back position, later it came, Danilo. I think they fared really well, but again. I think in the midfield, neither Casemiro nor Bruno Guimaraes looked convincing yesterday against Morocco. We thought that Casemiro will control the game. Okay, he did it, for most part of the game. But in the first half, he was not that convincing, and that's why Carlo Ancelotti was forced to change him with Fabinho. And Fabinho is another aged midfielder. I mean, Fabinho and Casemiro, they are almost at their career end, and they are not, at their prime form. They're far from this prime form. So this is one thing that Brazil will have to address. And as of now, if you see, they don't even have any option, any younger midfielder option. Maybe they have Ederson, who was all set to join Manchester United. Maybe he could be an option for Brazil. But let's see whether Carlo Ancelotti makes any changes in the midfield, in the next game or not. But in the attacking department, we thought there is Vinicius Junior, there is Rafinha, two of the best forward player of La Liga this season. I mean, the last two seasons. We thought, the Brazil attack will do the job for the team. But apart from that goal, apart from few instances, neither Vinicius Junior looked that convincing throughout the game. I mean, for Rafinha, it was just a off day. Hopefully, in the next game, he will get back to his rhythm. But Igor Thiago as well. I mean, Igor Thiago, I think for him, this is the first World Cup match. He got an opportunity. Of course, he fared really well for Brentford in the Premier League for sure. But he's getting an opportunity for Brazil team, his debut game. But he is far from his prime, I mean, to be honest, because even he missed one crucial chance as well in the first half. If he would have scored that, the result would have been different. So lot of things to address before the next game. But again, Morocco is a tough team. Obviously, the next challenge, that is Haiti. They are ranked, I think, 80th in the global FIFA ranking. So that would be not that difficult for Brazil. So I mean, there will be room for Brazil, to make amends in the upcoming game for sure. But we should talk about this one player from Morocco, Ayub Baoudi, because
Yeah.
just I think in May he decided to play for Morocco because he's of France origin, but just few months ago he
Hmm.
decided to play for Morocco, just 18 years old, and the performance he has put on, last night, I think really impressive for Morocco.
Absolutely, Rahul, absolutely. And as Rahul mentioned about Haiti, and Haiti, Morocco also had a pretty good game. Haiti pushed Scotland to the last minutes. Somnath, coming to you on last point on this Brazil versus Morocco match. Neymar Jr. not in the side, did not travel with the bus, went alone. How do you look forward to the next two games in the group? Neymar Jr. What are the changes possible? And will is Brazil lucky to have Haiti and Scotland in the as the other two teams in the group, so that they will be happy to have them to qualify for the next rounds? How are you looking forward to the next two games?
I think for a football fan who knows how Carlo Ancelotti plays, if he had watched yesterday's game, he would be somewhat confused because is this the Ancelotti style of play? I mean, giving the ball to the central midfielder, then passing to the wings, again giving it to Vinicius. We have not seen Carlo Ancelotti play this kind of football. But obviously, the reason is that there is no number 10, no proper link up a playmaker in this Brazilian team. Obviously, you have Lucas Paqueta. We can talk about other players as well, but no one is close to Neymar to that job. I think if Neymar comes and at least do at least what he did in the past World Cups, at least if we can do 50% of that, I think it would be highly beneficial for Brazil, at least from the tactical point of view. But apart from that, I think the first 11 orientation from Carlo Ancelotti has been poor in yesterday's match. I think in the second half, when Matthews Cunha came as a substitute, he was an absolute life wire for Brazil. I mean, for the first time, I was seeing a Brazilian player, apart from Vini, for the first time, a Brazilian player was, troubling the Moroccan defender. So I think Matthews Cunha deserves a start in the next match. And obviously, if Neymar comes back in the Scotland match, I think things would be better for Brazil. And as you said, obviously, the group has only one tough opponent for Brazil, and that's Morocco. In the first match they have faced them, I think now it's somewhat easy for Brazil to go to the next stage.
But
Absolutely, and
I don't see Neymar making any difference to this Brazil team, to be honest. Because the first question that comes to my mind, why Neymar wasn't called up, to the national team for the last few friendlies or the last few World Cup qualifiers. Because that time, Neymar was totally fit to play for Brazil. I mean, from the last 1 year, he has been struggling with injuries. That's why Carlo Ancelotti didn't call him up. But why he wasn't called, 2 or 3 months ago? Uh, the first problem with Neymar is how fit he will be in the upcoming few weeks, because he has just came back from an injury. And the second thing, I have serious doubt how Neymar will fit into Carlo Ancelotti's system, to be honest, because Neymar is a kind of player rely on individual brilliance a bit, who won't work that much hard when his team will lose possession, and that kind of player doesn't fit that much in Carlo Ancelotti's system. So I have serious doubt how Neymar will fit in Ancelotti's system, to be honest.
absolutely, absolutely. And Neymar quite past his prime, not in European football system. So, as Rahul rightly mentioned, with Vini and with Rafinha, they're at their prime. They're playing regular club football in Europe, and in that position, Neymar making through, it doesn't seem so likely. But the other match in the group, Haiti versus Scotland, it was not a very exciting game, but story wise, both the teams making World Cup comebacks. Scotland after 28 years, after 1998, and Haiti after 1974. So long a gap. Scotland would be happy to have this win and 3 points. They are currently at the top of the league. So and Scotland are actually looking to get past the group stage for the very first time. They have been playing the World Cup on eight previous occasions. This is the ninth appearance in the World Cup. They haven't moved past the group stages. So these 3 points might be very important for the Scottish side. But apart from that, as we speak, Australia currently leading 2-0 against Turkey. So it shows how Asian football have improved with Korea starting with a win. Qatar drawing against Switzerland. Now Australia winning 2-0. So Asian football has come quite a bit. Japan will be playing their match against Netherlands today. Rahul, your thoughts on these Asian teams? Uh,
I mean, over past few edition, obviously, the teams like Korea, Japan showed the way for the other Asian nation, and now teams like Australia, Qatar, they are just following in their footsteps. I mean, for Australia, they have been the regular participant in World Cup for the last 3 to 4 edition, and this is, I think, a statement scoreline for Australia. They are leading 2-0 against Turkey. I think this is a statement scoreline. Uh, Especially with Korea, the way they won the first game, and also again Japan will taking the pitch against Netherlands. But for Australia, obviously the big story is Nishan Valupilla. I'm the first
hmm,
player from Tamil heritage, playing in this World Cup. So that's one great story. And in this World Cup, obviously, I think I won't be surprised if one of the 9 Asian teams make it to, I mean, the quarterfinal or the semifinal in this World Cup, because they have that potential, especially teams like Korea, teams like Japan, and especially Australia. They have that potential. They have that tools, to make it to the next stage. And also, they are setting, big example for our nation like India as well, because they have invested in this football development over the last 10 or 20 years, and now they are getting that result in this World Cup, because these results they are not getting just overnight. They have been investing on it for over last
hmm.
10 to 20 years. So India, they are setting big example for India actually in this World Cup. And I think I'm also really looking forward to this Netherlands versus Japan game, because Japan is also
Absolutely.
one such nation, especially they have pulled off an upset really. I think couple of three such upset in the last few World Cup, and this time also Japan have a great squad, and I wouldn't be surprised if they make life difficult for Netherlands today.
Absolutely, and Somnath, coming to this Japan versus Netherlands game, Japan, the last time Japan lost an international match was in October 2025 against Brazil, and after that they have won consecutive 5 international friendlies and have conceded 0 goals. So 100% clean sheet record in the last 5 international games. That speaks volumes about the Japanese defense and as well as attack, because they have won all these 5 matches. Your thoughts on today's match? How far Japan can push Netherlands, or if they can upset Netherlands? What are your thoughts? Because Netherlands have not been very consistent in the recent past.
Absolutely. Talking about Japan, if you talk about the World Cup qualification from the AFC region, Japan has not lost a single match, and they have scored the maximum amount of goals among the Asian countries. So obviously, Japan is a Asian powerhouse to say the least. The difference between Japan and the other Asian countries is vast, and also South Korea. The difference between Japan, South Korea, and the other Asian teams is huge. And obviously, we can see the 100-year project, 100-year FIFA World Cup project of Japan seems to be realistic, and I don't think it will take more than 24, 28 years to for Japan to win the World Cup. I think they are that good at this moment. But if you talk about Netherlands, obviously also Japan just defeated Brazil in one of the friendlies, just I think in March month. But if we talk about Netherlands, a team, a country, again, we talk about when we talk about mentality. We name countries like Germany, we name countries like Argentina. But I think when we talk about mentality, another country which comes up to our mind is Netherlands. Obviously, with a good squad, without a good squad, with a depleted squad, Netherlands shows the fighting spirit in this World Cup. And obviously, in the past, if you talk about the Netherlands and Argentina game, I think if any team could have gave Argentina a little bit of tough time, it would be Netherlands. So and the team, if you talk about Netherlands team, it is not that bad. If you talk about the defense, there is Nathan Ake, a leader like Virgil van Dijk. If you talk about the attack, Memphis Depay, Cody Gakpo. Obviously, Netherlands will miss Javi Simons, but still, I think uh, it's a good team. It's a good team, and I think we are about to see a great match in this World Cup.
Absolutely. And Rahul, coming to you, Somnath mentioned about Cody Gakpo, Depay, but the Netherlands side does not have very young superstars. All their big names have passed their 30, 32. Cody Gakpo is one such name, a youngster. But if you look at the other players, Depay past 30,
Yeah.
Virgil van Dijk past 30. So how are you looking forward to this Netherlands side? And do you keep Japan perhaps ahead, or can they create an upset in today's match?
By the way, before that, just this Australia versus Turkey game is quite interesting. I mean, Turkey has kept 62% possession, 27 shots. Out of that,
Wow.
seven shots on target. I mean, Australia have just
Wow.
attempted 8 times, four shot on target, and out of that four they have converted two. They have played just 262 passes to Turkey's 630 passes. So that shows that this Australia team, they have their clarity, with their play style, their
Yes.
philosophy. I mean, yeah, I was just taking the lineup. They were playing with a five-man defense. So it shows that how confident they are,
Yeah, I
with
have
their
seen that. They were playing the five line defense. Not a very
top-notch
How
exciting
performance from Australia.
player football, but it certainly doing the work.
I mean,
counter
result
attack it
oriented
at its
football.
very best.
Absolutely. I
Five
mean, coming to
four five.
Netherlands, obviously, I mean, Netherlands won't walk into this World Cup as one of the contenders, but dark horse for sure because they have that potential. I mean, player like Frankie De Jong, and obviously Van Dijk will be leading that team, from the back line. But alongside also, if you see, there are players like Dumfries. Obviously, the injury of Julian Timber is a huge blow for Netherlands. But apart from that, there is Cody Gakpo, and also another huge blow for them is Simmons. For Tottenham Hotspur, he got injured and missing this because Simon was very much central to Ronald Koeman plan in this World Cup. But unfortunately, they will miss them. Simon and Timber, huge miss for Netherlands. But apart from these two players, I think Netherlands have that team, to make it to the later stages of the tournament against Japan, just like similar to the Brazil game against Morocco. I think
Hmm.
Netherlands also going to face a tough test, but the group they are in, I think they have that opportunity to make it to the next round. But expecting a better performance from Netherlands team because they are still in search of their first World Cup trophy. To be honest, so now it up to the Ronald Koeman whether he can make that thing for Netherlands or not this time in this World Cup.
They have played the final grand finale for three times. Have lost three times.
But never.
One four four times. Oh, four times. Remember the 2010 final where Iniesta scored that
Against
goal.
Spain.
Yeah, fantastic final. That was the best World Cup, I would say. 2010 World Cup, in South Africa won, and of course 1978, where Mario Kempes won it for Argentina, Argentina's first World Cup. That also against Netherlands. But another game today, 9:30 p.m. Finally, a game that Indians will be able to cherish without hindering their sleep from 9:30 p.m. Germany versus Curacao. Curacao, again, we discussed it yesterday. Somnath, a team that we are not expecting very much from the footballing standpoint, but they have brought the vibe to the United States. Germany versus Curacao. How are you looking forward to this match? And Germany will be looking to test their test the side for the upcoming matches as well. How are you looking forward to this match? Sorry.
I think Germany will start their World Cup campaign with a win. It won't be a difficult match for a team like Germany, but obviously it will be historic for Curacao because the only Caribbean nation to represent the Caribbean region in the World Cup. I think Curacao uh, will play their dream match. Obviously, for the first time they have qualified in this World Cup, and I still remember back in 2019, India played against this Curacao under Igosti match, and in that match, India lost, I guess, 3-0 or 3-1. I don't remember the scoreline exactly, but still, Curacao has had the quality then also, but obviously they had the quality now also. But against a tough Germany side, it would be difficult again for Curacao, and they will be hoping for an upset. They will be looking for an upset in this group, to be honest. But uh, Germany is a side. Obviously, Germany is too tough side to beat for Curacao, I think. But if we talk about the Germany team, obviously they have a striker in the name of Kai Havertz, who is in brilliant form. Uh, I think there's an echo.
Yeah, echo from your side only. Hmm.
Okay, if you talk about striker, obviously Kai Havertz is there, who had a brilliant season with Arsenal, beat the Champions League, beat the Premier League. They have midfielders like Florian Wirtz, Leroy Sané. If you talk about Joshua Kimmich, obviously Germany is a good side. If you talk about the defense, solid defense with Antoine Rudiger and Jonathan Tah, the veteran goalkeeper Manuel Neuer, and when we draw this. Germany team. Obviously, Neuer will be under the goalpost, and this is his last World Cup. Obviously, they will look for their fifth World Cup. Obviously, we tell Brazil are in a mission for their hexa title, for their sixth title. Germany are also in a mission for their fifth title, and if that occurs, obviously they will be the most successful side beside Brazil in the history of FIFA World Cup.
Absolutely. And before we finish, we still have 4 to 5 minutes in this show. Uh, as we speak of controversies, and this World Cup has given us many. Yesterday, also, the Haiti team had to replace their
Yeah.
jersey quite before the World Cup because of a picture of their Haitian revolution depicted on the jersey. And Egypt have been asked to remove the 7 stars of the AFCON nation. Senegal have been asked to remove the 2 stars of the AFCON. So these are quite interesting stories that are coming up from the FIFA World Cup. Uh, just want to ask you both: Do you, any idea on why Uruguay have 4 stars on their logo? Because they have won the FIFA World Cup only 2 times.
I think they have won the FIFA World Cup 2 times, and 2 times they have won the Olympic gold in football. And at that time, there
And
was no
that was
FIFA World Cup.
before the start of the World Cup. That's why
Absolutely.
that
So,
two gold medals are considered to be part of the World Cups. These are quite interesting stories. But final 2 minutes in the show, Rahul, prediction: Germany, Curacao, and Japan, Netherlands.
I mean, we all know, how Germany performed in the group stage of the last two edition of the World Cup. They got knocked out from the group stage only. So for them, this time they will be cautious in the group stage, and this Curacao game is a must-win for Germany because after this game they have two tough games. They will have to face Ivory Coast and then Ecuador as well. I mean, against those two teams, it's going to be challenging, physically for them because both Ecuador and Ivory Coast will play with low blocks, compact defense against Germany, and will be really difficult for Germany to break that low block. So for them, they need to have a winning start against Curacao because I don't see Curacao posing that much difficulty for
Hmm.
Germany. And this time, Germany's team is much more balanced compared to the last edition of the World Cup. They have experienced player like Manuel Neuer, in the goal, then Joshua Kimmich in the midfield. Alongside them, there is Florian Wirtz, there is youngster like Jamal Musiala, and also Nick Ultimate, who is
Hmm.
also one of the striker to watch out for in this World Cup with his great, physicality. Obviously, he's capable of troubling any defender in this World Cup. So I think Germany has got that side, got that potential, but for them, this Curacao game is a must-win game so that they get back their confidence, get back their rhythm, and they can get off to a winning start. And then in the next two games, they should plan match by match because Ivory Coast going to be a difficult game because we all know, I mean, Jon Diomande, he's been playing for the last two seasons in the Bundesliga only for RB Leipzig. He has 20 goal contribution this season. So Ivory Coast, Ecuador will be challenging for Germany, but before those two games, they first need to get a big win against Curacao. I think Germany can do something big in this World Cup. I have such expectation from this side.
Okay, and predictions for the Netherlands Japan game.
Netherlands, I would go for a bold prediction: Japan winning against Netherlands because Japan, I think, have that side. I think have that side. Kubo players like Kubo, so many players, playing in the European top division. So I think they have that tool and potential, to pull off an upset against Netherlands.
Absolutely. Finish off with you, Somnath. What are your predictions for these two games? We also have the Ivory Coast versus Ecuador game, and pretty late at the night, 4:30 a.m. Indian time. But before that, Germany, Curacao, and Netherlands and Japan. What are your predictions for these two games?
For the Japan Netherlands game, obviously Japan they are a quality side, no doubt about that. But we have to also say that the Netherlands team is a very difficult team to beat, to say the least, and it won't be easy for Japan because they bring the mentality to the table. If you talk about Netherlands, obviously they have showed it in the past, and obviously I think Japan will have a tough time against Netherlands. But again, with the safe prediction, I will go 1-1 again, just like the Brazil Morocco game. 1-1. Japan has the quality. Netherlands has the determination to not to lose. But it will be an interesting game. But if you talk about the Group E, Germany and Curacao, I think it will be a one-sided game. Germany winning the match. But it will be interesting with Ecuador because when they qualified for the World Cup in the rankings, they were in the second position after Argentina. And it's a very interesting thing actually because Ecuador usually plays their home games in world's highest altitude stadium back in their country, and it's very difficult for the players to actually match their stamina. They also need oxygen mask actually to maintain that oxygen level in their body. But in this heat. In the United States, I think Ecuador will face difficulties, and I won't be surprised if they finish in the bottom half of the table, obviously.
Okay, bold prediction with Ecuador, and I'll also go with a one-sided match for the Germany game, 3-0 win for Germany against Curacao, and I would go with 1-1 draw for the Netherlands versus Japan game. That's all for now. We have passed 1 minute to 30 of 30 minutes of the 30-minute show. We'll come back again tomorrow and follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Follow our website. We'll have the reports coming up from Dulal Dev from USA and also from Shumnath, Rahul, and myself. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching. Do let us know your predictions, and we'll be back again tomorrow. Thank you.